Hello, everyone. I'm back after some weeks. I was supposed to be doing this weekly, but when you first start, you just kind of got to get everything organized, especially having a family. But speaking on family, actually this month, I would say, it's been this month. There's been a lot of reports of women conceiving after so much struggles with getting pregnant, miscarriages, and different things like that. And I'm just, oh my God, I'm just in so awe. I mean, as some of you may know, my testimony, when I got pregnant with my daughter Nova, and how it had been, the Lord had spoke to me in 2011, but I didn't get pregnant until 2022. But it's just wow. This is the season that the Lord is like, women are barren no more. Like, He's really preparing. As what I was feeling is that the kids, the children that are growing up now, they're going to be the ones that the Lord is going to use mightily for what's to come. Like, we're here now, we're like, okay, we're supposed to get the mantle, but they're going to be the ones, But it's just amazing to see. There were two ladies in this group that I'm in. They both actually had miscarriages last year. And it was so crazy because in the midst of that, me and I believe two other ladies all got pregnant last year. And in the midst of that, they were reporting that they had miscarriages. And so it was kind of like joy and sorrow at the same time. But in the midst of that, I'm like, the Lord can do it. I'm speaking faith in them because I'm like, I've been in your position, not per se had a miscarriage, but being in your position of having to go through so much to try to even get pregnant, and then being at risk of not even being told that you can't have kids. Because every woman's dream is to, get married and have children, right? And so it's kind of devastating to go to a doctor's appointment or be pregnant and then you have a miscarriage. My biggest fear last year, when I got past the mark for the miscarriage, was having my baby being stillborn. That was my biggest fear, and it was freaking me out, but I just trusted in God through everything, and He promised this, and I just had to keep reminding myself in those moments that the Lord did this, so therefore He's going to see me through it, And one thing I learned is that when you get a promise, when the Lord promised you something and that promise comes to pass, you have to still trust God throughout that process. Because in the midst of it, doubts and thoughts and all kind of stuff, things that that people may say to you or that you read in books, people love to Google. I love to Google. You Googling things and you're looking up stuff and you're reading reviews and whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, you have to trust God and know that God promised you this and God did it. So why wouldn't He finish it? You know what I'm saying? So it's like we can't doubt God in the midst of our promise, if that makes sense. Like, while we're living out our promise, we have to trust God through it all. But back to what I was saying. So this year now, they just confirmed that they're pregnant. And it's so exciting, because I'm like, wow, remember last year, and look at God. He just, He did it again. And sometimes it's just all about the perfect timing. And sometimes you may have to go through those hard and difficult moments. Sometimes they're there to make us stronger. Sometimes they're there to, show us things within ourselves that we may need to address or look at deeper. Because before bringing a child into the world, before going to that level of whatever the promise is that God has for you, there's some things that you need to, be able to clean up, And so, it's just like, wow, this is so amazing. And then I think it was this week, if I'm not mistaken, earlier this week, one of the ladies from a church that I used to attend, well, she's the daughter work, but I remember hearing that they were trying, from someone that attended their church, that they were trying for a while, and then they just revealed it. They just announced that they're pregnant too. And so I'm just like, wow, that is so amazing. And in that moment when I messaged, I was like, there it is. Barren no more. God is saying barren no more. And that's what brings me to today, to my podcast today, because it was just on me to just share this. As you all know, the purpose of my podcast is to bring forth things that people struggle with in silence. It's not just for people that I know. It's not for popularity or anything like that. It's just being real and being authentic over, and just letting people know that you're not alone. You are not alone. We all face the same struggles. We all have the same mind tricks that affects us and different things like that. But the biggest thing is just to trust God. And I think it's difficult sometimes to trust God. When you're going through, it's easy to say, I trust God, right? It's easy to just say it, but to actually do it, live it out, trusting God, sometimes it's very hard depending on what the situation is, Even simple situations can be difficult to trust God. Just yesterday we had a ladies event, and in that event, they were talking about having faith in God, and in the midst of that, I shared, we have a lot of faith in man, and because of that, we don't have faith in God. And it's like when we have an issue, instead of us going to the Lord first, we'll automatically go to man. We'll go to the pastor. We'll go to our mom. We'll go to our sister. We'll go to our husband, our spouses. But we don't go to God, who is the source. As I said in my first message, that He's the source. And my husband actually challenged me a couple months ago on that. Like he really gave it to me, telling me that I didn't have faith in God. And it kind of hurt my feelings because of how he was saying, because in my mind, I'm like, what you mean I ain't have faith? I don't have faith in God. Yes, I do. I have faith in God. And the way he explained it to me, I was like, you know what? He's right. And I instantly went into prayer. Because I'm like, Lord, like, He's right. Like, I really do have more faith in man than I do in God. And therefore, that causes the disappointments, And that also is some of the reasons why we struggle with how we communicate with God, or how we go to Him in certain situations. And so in those moments, when you are going through something, you don't go to God first, because you've always went to man, who may have given you the wrong instructions, or directs you the wrong way, or cause a disappointment or discouragement in you. And you almost in your mind, you line that up with God, saying that this is God, God did this. Although it was man who said it to you. God didn't say that to you. God didn't put you in that situation. You took this man's advice, and therefore, when I say man, I'm not just talking about man physically. I mean, like your sister, your brother, your mom, your dad. That's what I mean by man. But in the midst of that, you're saying that you don't trust God, and you're blaming God for something that he didn't do, or he had absolutely nothing to do with, because you went off of what man said instead of going to go seek what God says. And I realized that I just went completely off of what I was initially talking about, but maybe this was something that needed to be spoken in this moment and at this time. But I'm just excited with what God is doing around my friends, around people that I just interact with, that I don't per se spend time with every day, but just hearing different testimonies, and just these recent ones about, those who were struggling, getting pregnant, and now they're pregnant, is just simply amazing. And God, he's just doing a lot of amazing things right now in this season. And I just, want to, encourage everyone to continue to trust in God and to have faith in Him more than you have in man. When there's an issue, go to God first and then seek man. Go to God, read your Bible, for the answers before you pick up your phone. It's very important, because as I said before, He's the source. He's the answers to everything that we deal with. And I'm just going to end there. Everybody have a great night.